done, thou good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in just a few things. As been described here, it sounds like a mountain of stuff, but in the economy of heaven, it was just a few things. But Linda, he says, I will make you ruler over many things. Jesus said, I go to prepare a place for you in John 14. So I suspect right now, Conrad is assisting Jesus with a plumb line. And he's saying to Jesus, as that plumb line drops, and looking at how that wall is, and he's saying, Jesus, are you happy? And he would add these words, dear friends, because I know I sure am. My dear friends, Conrad discovered true happiness. And his discovery of true happiness was this: serve Jesus by loving God, your spouse, and your family, and love your neighbor as you would love yourself, thus fulfilling all the law of God. He loved God with all of his heart and mind and strength, and he would say to you, my purpose is to love God and serve him, and my family is my legacy. Yes. I appreciated you talking about legacy, because that is you are Conrad's legacy. Linda, I know you'll have some tough days too. It's inevitable. But God is with you, and you have a host of friends. And I say this publicly. Loretta and I, Randall and Phyllis, and all of us will stand with you, and we'll do anything to help you. Conrad served in the Army National Guard. He received an honorable discharge. And the flag presentation that's going to take place has followed military protocol with a 21-gun salute, taps as the flag was folded, the spent casings folded inside the flag, and the honor guard presented the flag with a final salute. The flag is now encased in a flag case, and it will be presented now by Captain Swain to Linda. Captain? You may be seated. That's Rod Baker.
On behalf of the family, thank you. Thank you for coming. You know, we have prayer every morning at the warehouse. And every morning, when Conrad is there, he says something like this: "Come on, Jesus!" And that's what he's saying today. Come on, can neighbor, say, come on, Jesus. Come on, say it like you mean it. What an honor. You know, before I met Conrad, I had never even heard that name before. I remember when he introduced himself to me, and it's like, what? How do you say that? And you know, there's something special about a name. There's power in a name. There's authority in a name. I looked up his name. I looked up the meaning of his name. And his name means to be brave. To be brave. One area it goes on to say to get rare counsel. Don't look at your neighbor right now. Just look at me, because I'm sure he's given you some counsel before. And the name originated in Germany in the 10th century. And it came from a guy that was a saint. That's where the name came. And then he became a bishop. And if you know Conrad, like I had the privilege to know Conrad, he was working on the saint side. But he was a bishop. You know, truly, Conrad was a minister. That's how he lived his life. He was a treasure to all of us in this room. To Linda. Sometimes, Linda, Conrad would wear me out talking about you. Linda this, Linda that. He loved you. Oh, he was your champion, your beloved friend, a trusted companion. Now to the children, it's a whole nother story. Because he would, hey, I want you to pray for this one. I want you to pray for that one. I won't call out any names. You know who I'm talking about. He loved you, Chris. You were his treasure, Christ bearer. You bear the name of Christ. Melissa this, Melissa that. His baby girl. Conrad Jr., his treasure. Stephen, woo! He loved you. And baby girl, you were going to be on The Voice. He loved you all so very much. All your grandchildren, he always talked about you. Her champion volleyball player, Shandai. Conrad was a beloved friend and servant, a champion, and a Christ follower. To all of us, I sum Conrad up in a scripture that's very dear to me. It's Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a warrior, and a warrior is his name. The definition of a warrior means to be brave, an experienced soldier, fighter. I find that is in his very name, his definition says brave. He was a brave guy. Today, we are here to honor our friend's life. It is a day of honor for our beloved, for a very brave warrior. And we will celebrate the victory that he has won. But not just a warrior, a great husband, a great father, a great grandfather. See, most people, they leave an inheritance, and that's important. But very few people leave a legacy. An inheritance can be spent any way you don't know, but a legacy is a way you live your life in the future. Many people have benefited from his legacy, just as he was a father to you. He was a father to me. And many men in this room, he was a father. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 5 says, we have 10,000 instructors, but not many fathers. In this room, we could call people's names out. And he helped a lot of men walk into manhood. The wonderful thing about a father, he always speaks the truth. Proverbs 12:17, he that declares righteousness, he that speaks the truth, declares righteousness. He could tell you how the cow ate the cabbage. He had many gifts, carpenter's skills. He was a kind of a jack of all trades. But three of his gifts that I admired the very most. The gift, and I know you children can relate with this, the gift of correction. We heard a little bit about the belt this week. The gift of a correction. See, everyone needs to be corrected in life if we are going to become who God has called us to be. And he had that gift, that apostolic gift. He had the gift of a Paul. The second gift that I admired was the gift of an encourager. Come on, Jesus. Come on, Jesus. We have a lot of young men that work with us, and I loved when he would get on those young men. Come on, grab a hold of that. Don't look over in that area right now. He wasn't Timothy. He knew how to encourage. The third gift that I think I love most of all was the gift of a friend. He was my Barnabas. He was my BFF. Conrad was all these things to all of us, most of us in this room. He was a man's man. I love that about him. And what I loved, he was a roughneck. That's what oil or drillers are called, roughnecks. Even though he was in the army, you could have called him a leatherneck. He wasn't in the Marine, but he was a roughneck. He had a way of saying things that it became real crystal clear. That's what I loved about him. See, he was a warrior for the injustice in the world. Him and Linda fought for the unborn for many years. He was a warrior. He fought for boys and girls, for children. He fought for the elderly. He would go and preach at a nursing home all the time. He fought for those that were hungry. Yesterday we went to his community where he always served. A senior citizens community, and they were all upset. And I said, no, we're not going to be upset. We're going to celebrate. He was a friend to people that others didn't want to be a friend to. He fought for those that were in need. He fought for his family. He loved you with every ounce of strength. And you know, you could never really tell how old he was. There would be times where we'd be grabbing 50 pounds, 75 pounds of rice and beans. I'd say, Conrad, don't do that. Get out of the way. I'd say, let the young boys do it. He said, they need to have children in the future. See, he was a warrior. His name was Conrad. See, all of us are looking for people in life to stand up against injustice. Every one of us are. We're looking for someone just to make a stand for the weak and the helpless. And we had that privilege to have that person. As I was thinking about him, I thought about Matthew chapter 5, verse 41. Jesus is speaking, and Israel was under Roman rule, and there were taskmasters, and Jesus said something that set the world upside down. He said this: if they asked you to carry their pack 1 mile, go 2. Did you know that the average Roman soldier carried a pack that weighed 65 pounds? It wasn't easy to carry that pack. And see, there's something rich about going the second mile. Very few people that I've met in life go the second mile. A true reward of a life of faith will be found in the second mile. Conrad was a second mile husband. Linda's got a new radio program. You've got to listen to it. He was a second mile father. A second mile grandfather. A second mile friend. A second mile champion for the hurting. He was a weight carrier. He carried the weight for others. See, that's what a second mile person does. They'll carry weight that others don't want to carry. There was no quitting with Conrad. No slowing down. Recently we did a giveaway where we had 1,000 cars. And he was going, come on, come on. Keep moving. There was no quitting, no slowing down. It was all about the second mile. That's what a true warrior is. See, in the second mile, you'll find the second mile smile. That's where the reward is. When you talk about smiling, Why could he smile? Because he earned the second mile smile. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, there's 28 different seasons in life in that chapter. But I find it interesting, there's never a season to quit. See, because warriors don't quit. They fight until they die. And then even when they die, they still live. Jesus said in the book of John, chapter 11, verse 25, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he is dead, yet shall he live. And whoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. I was thinking about this. It's a very, very, very difficult time. But I came across this one verse. I thought it was very interesting, very short. It's found in Daniel 1, verse 41. And Daniel continued. And I'm here to tell you today, and Conrad continued. 2 Timothy 4:7 says, I have fought a good fight. I have kept the course. I have kept the faith. Acts 16:38. And Jesus, when he had served his generation, by the will of God, he fell asleep. Your husband, your father, your grandfather, our friend was a warrior.